So let's talk England. Thomas Tuchel will name his squad for this month's World Cup qualifiers against Serbia and Albania on Friday, with their place at the tournament already secured. But the big question is, will Jude Bellingham be recalled to the side? Speaking after Real Madrid's defeat to Liverpool last night, Jude Bellingham told Amazon Prime, "It's not my call. I think you know whose call it is. I would love to be, but it's not my call. I'll be waiting to see." Right, Jamie, it's not his call. But would you pick Bellingham?
Yeah, of course I'll pick Bellingham. He scored 3 in his last 4 games, by the way. Yeah, of course he'd pick Bellingham. He's fit, he's scoring goals, he's playing for Real Madrid. He's one of the most talented England players that we've got. So, you know, fit and firing Jude Bellingham, you want in the side. So, yeah, look, Thomas Tuchel, for whatever reason, left him out the last, couple of squads. One was for injury, maybe the last one wasn't. But we'll see. It's an interesting thing that's going on between Bellingham and Tuchel, and what Tuchel's thinking about his role in the team, and does he see him as a starter? Does he fit in his team that Thomas Tuchel wants to put together? I just think, look, I thought Bellingham played all right last night. He's good on the ball. I think if you can get him firing, if you can get him at it, he's a big game player. I mean, he plays for Real Madrid. He's scoring goals. He's back. He's firing. Of course, Bellingham walks into the England team, and with these 2 games, England already qualified. So,
but do you expect him to do any sort of experimenting, given that his contract's only until the summer?
Well, I think the only experiments he's got to do is find out who's going to get in his World Cup squad. Yeah. We've qualified for the World Cup. We're there. Now it's about, right, who am I taking? Who deserves a spot? Who can I rely on? Who can I trust? Who's a good squad player? Who's a good player to have around the camp? All these things now he's got to put into the fact that next year we're going to be away as a group of players for over a month. So I've got to get the right group of players together to make that month away as an England squad perfect. You don't need people moaning. You don't need players who think they should be starting and they're not, and then they're sulking in the dressing room, sulking around the training ground. You need a group of players who are all there for one cause: win the World Cup. And it ain't about being the best player, it's about being the best team. And that's what Thomas Tuchel's got to use over the next fixtures that he's got coming up to figure out who deserves to be on the plane.
Is it ridiculous for him to call up Max Dowman as early as this?
Yeah, it's too early. I mean, he's a young kid. Look, Max Dowman's going to be a future England star. We know that, but he can't be. You can't be bringing up a 15-year-old to go and play at the World Cup. It's too early. Look, he's got so many attributes. But I think you need to protect the kid as well. I think he's at an amazing football club in Arsenal in terms of being able to protect him, given a platform to go and progress and get better as a player. But I wouldn't be throwing him in the limelight of the England squad just yet. No way.
Danny Welbeck at the other end of the scale.
Danny Welbeck for sure, because Danny Welbeck's been there and done it. Danny Welbeck's record for England's actually really good. I think he's almost 1 in 2, 1 in 3. His goal record for England. I know he hasn't played for a while, but he's been in unbelievable form this season. I spoke about it with you before. Does he deserve a call-up? He's an all-round centre-forward. God forbid Harry Kane gets injured. If you look at what we have behind Harry Kane in terms of what we got to offer, Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, then you're looking at Rashford if he plays up there. Danny Welbeck's very much like Harry Kane. His all-round game's good, his link-up's good, he can hold the ball up, he can play through bombs, he's still sharp, he can score a header. Yeah. He's a leader and he's played for England. I would 100% be putting Danny Welbeck in the squad. I think he's that best second striker that England have got.
It's hard to think of any kind of shut call-ups. Does that show how strong the squad is right now for England?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously there's always going to be talk about Grealish because of the talent he's got and, can he get in there? But we're talking about shocks. I think Danny Welbeck's a bit of a shock if you get him in. I think he's performed so well that he probably deserves it. When you're outside the box, you're looking at going, is there anyone else who can get in there? Ruben Loftus-Cheek being in there for me was, is a shock, but he obviously likes him, he knows him. So I think we've got a really strong squad. Bellingham's got to come back in, we know that. So you might add Bellingham, you might add Welbeck. There's 2 new players coming into the squad, that you're bringing in from the last one. He's got to find his team. He's got to find his squad. It ain't just about the 11. He's now got to think about this World Cup squad. He's got to think about the right dynamics, the right morale and the camaraderie between them all. That's where it's going to be key for Thomas Tuchel. He knows what he's doing, but that's when you go away for 6 weeks with everyone, 25 players. You've got to all get on. You can't have people in there sulking and not being. You've got to be a right good group, a good team. So I think that's where it's going to be key for him to get right.
We can find out who Thomas Tuchel picks in his squad on Friday.